How's this? I'll ask a question.
What question?
Chaz question. Now you get it right. We roll.
I know everything there is to know about Miles. Lay it on me.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neal, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neal, and I'm joined here with Matt. How's it going?
It's going good.
Today is our third TrivialMania, so our third WWE bonus episode.
Yep, I got Raw being recorded right now because we're recording on a Monday night.
It is. It's a Monday night, which everyone knows recently means that things are all bets are off.
Mm-hmm.
Could be kind of wild.
Maybe.
We'll yeah.
Maybe the champion will show up. Probably not.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what's great is joining us over Skype is one of our longest Patreon subscribers, a United States champion, one of our longest listeners and friends of the show, and he's cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and that is Greg Johnson. How's it going, Greg?
It's going great. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you found the show, and how you started getting into wrestling?
Okay, well, I am a software developer in Aiken, South Carolina. I found you guys basically just doing a search for trivia podcasts, and funny enough, the first episode that I heard was I think it was the first TrivialMania. So I'm thinking, okay, I just gotta stick with you guys. I've been a wrestling fan since maybe 1991. My cousin introduced me to it when I was, in, I guess, third grade, and I've just been hooked ever since.
That's great. And I know, some of Matt's questions are going to be for the older roster, so maybe Matt can take your favorite older wrestlers. I'll start here, though. Of the current roster, like to say the last 2-3 years, who are some of your favorite wrestlers and heels and faces and everything?
I guess so in the current roster, probably my favorite right now is Daniel Bryan. Also enjoy Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. Those are probably my top three of what's going on now. So as of right now, I'm definitely a bigger fan of SmackDown.
Yeah. SmackDown's killing it right now.
Yeah, they are.
I'm a big Carmella fan, so.
Oh yeah, no, she's great.
Carmella is money.
And well, you're probably super excited because they're going to have another main event of Shinsuke and AJ, right, for Money in the Bank?
Yes, that should be very great, very, very good. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It seems like each match between them has gotten better, so I think I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is the fourth pay-per-view in a row, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is the fourth pay-per-view in a row. I think the women's wrestling squad is just awesome. They keep getting better. Everyone they call up is awesome. And how about older wrestlers? Who are some of your favorite older wrestlers when you first started watching?
I would say Bret Hart is definitely my all-time favorite. I also enjoyed a little later on The Rock and Kurt Angle, but Bret is definitely my favorite. I also liked Ricky Steamboat, Jushin Thunder Liger a little bit,
right.
So a little bit of everything.
I was hoping for a Doink in there, but those guys are good too. So.
Yeah, no, those are all great wrestlers, and it's funny how I feel like a lot of people knock on wrestling, and if you don't like it, that's your own prerogative. That's fine, and it's really sports theater in a way. But I love hearing people's stories of when they got into wrestling because, like for you, it was a cousin, it could be a family member, it could be maybe someone saw Suburban Commando and was like, "Who's that big blonde dude? I want to see who that is."
That's probably what happened. Or
yeah, right.
Three Ninjas 4, Magic Mountain, I believe Hulk Hogan's also.
Exactly. So it's just fun hearing other people, get into wrestling. And have you seen the Andre the Giant documentary that just was released?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it once the next time they have a free weekend of HBO. Yeah. I'll definitely try to check it out.
They have some ridiculous footage that you wouldn't think exists of him like as a kid or whatever, and there's some wild stories in it. It's awesome.
Yeah, there's some great stuff, and I loved. There's a great 30 for 30 with Ric Flair about his career, which is really fascinating too. Bret the Hitman Hart. A lot of people say that was their favorite opponent. That's awesome. He's one of my favorites as well. I guess I don't know. You want to just kick it off, and we'll get into the questions?
That sounds good.
Great. Well, as we do with all of our guests, basically your performance today is going to be judged by Tom Cruise from the movie Collateral, and he's going to see if you succeed, if he has to, unfortunately, assassinate you or not. But if you're ready, just tell us to lay it on you.
Go ahead and lay it on me.
All right. I'll throw it to Matt here for the first question.
All right. Question 1. After a failed stint as a dentist, what wrestler would try his hand at impersonating Diesel next?
So that is, I guess his real name is Glenn Jacobs. So that he posed as the fake Diesel, and then I guess later on he became Kane, and now he is running for mayor of some city in Tennessee, I believe.
Yep, that's mayoral candidate Glenn Jacobs. It's got to be Kane.
That's awesome. I heard he passed his primary, right?
Yeah, he's in it. He's running, and he said that he will continue to wrestle even if he's mayor. So
I hope he wins, because I feel like what we need. Politics is a lot of like blowhards, talking on both sides, making comments. But I feel like having a wrestler in there, and he can just cut promos on the other guy. That'd be great.
He's really following the Jesse Ventura career path.
Yes, yes, he is, and same hairstyle as well. All right, I'll throw one here. It's probably going to be a little easier for you, but adorned with gold masks and shiny chainmail, these 3 future Raw Women's Champions accompany Triple H at WrestleMania 30 during his grand entrance to the ring.
So I think that is Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Alexa Bliss.
You got it. It was funny looking at that picture, when they were helping him to the ring. And I remember, I think he had a quote about, giving them an opportunity to see how big of a stage they could have. And just seeing them just a few years later, I mean, they're just, on the top of that division, just killing. I think they've all won the championship on either SmackDown or Raw brand at least 4 times, which is crazy. So,
yeah, there's also one where Cena had like a weird entrance with a bunch of guys in gangster outfits, I think, and CM Punk was one of them. And
that's so funny,
at a WrestleMania entrance. So a lot of times when you see like they got a bunch of guys in these, like the whatever Adam Rose's, the Rosebuds.
Oh yeah,
like Braun Strowman was a Rosebud. So you see like all the future stars kind of just like showing up in these background things.
Are you a fan of CM Punk, Greg?
I enjoy him. I definitely enjoy his matches. I guess his issues with the WWE are a little. I kind of just not pay too much attention to it, but I definitely enjoyed him in the ring.
No, that's great. I was just going to say, on that note that, if you guys follow wrestling, he was in a lawsuit with WWE, or they were suing him for defamation, but he won the case. So it seems like that 2-year battle, or however long it's been, will be over.
It's a huge case for podcasters, so we can say whatever we want about people and not be held for libel.
True, especially for the doctors of the WWE, I guess.
Yeah, so that guy's a quack. Come at me. Actually, please don't. I have no money.
We just have to tell him Greg needs rest. He can't be working 4 or 5 days in a week. He needs a Sunday off at least.
You're going to get a Z.
That's right. That's right.
We'll get you a Z-Pack. You'll be all right. All right. Moving on to the next question. The Oddities were an Attitude Era stable led by the legendary Kurgan, and I use legendary in quotes. What late 90s music group performed their theme song?
I think that was the Insane Clown Posse.
Greg's down with the clown. That is the Insane Clown Posse.
Man.
Insane Clown Posse would show up in any federation that would have them at the time. They appeared in ECW, WCW, and WWF all within like a 2-year period because they liked wrestling and money.
I had no idea that was Insane Clown Posse. That's so funny. I mean, I guess that makes sense, though. I do remember video footage. There's probably some, what are they called? Not jabronis. I forget now.
Jobbers.
Jobbers, yeah. I'm thinking of The Rock with jabronis. So question 4 is actually in honor of this month's Money in the Bank pay-per-view, which is going to be in Chicago. Matt and I are trying to get tickets, but the prices still haven't dropped to as low as we can afford. So we'll see what happens. I want to see Rhonda and Nia there, but in honor of this month's Money in the Bank, what superstar has been on the receiving end of the most Money in the Bank cash-in attempts?
Let's see. My initial thought is John Cena, but he
has been champion quite a bit.
Yeah, basically. I mean, just think of the ones that have lost the championship that many times. I'm going to go with John Cena.
Okay, well, the superstars Rob Van Dam, Edge, and Damian Sandow all cashed in on John Cena. Great job.
Damian Sandow, the first to lose his cash-in. And then he was released.
I miss him. I feel bad. He was always super entertaining when he was with The Miz. And that was a great gimmick that he was pulling. But, a lot of people, if they can't last, you can't last. So.
Yeah, and I think he actually took some time in TNA or Impact Wrestling or whatever it's called nowadays.
They'll sign anybody who gets cut usually. So. I think he had a decent run there. I know Christian was a champion immediately after getting released, and I think D'Lo even had a championship run. So, next question. In 2008, 3 wrestlers born to famous wrestling parents formed a group known as Legacy. Name any 2 of the parents.
Okay, so the parents would be, let's see, Cowboy Bob Orton, father of Randy Orton, and $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, father of Ted DiBiase Jr.
All right, you got 2. Can you get the third one?
Yes, Dusty Rhodes, father of Cody Rhodes.
There you go. I should have just made it all 3. I didn't know that you were such an expert, so I kind of made that easier. That was a cool little faction there. Ted DiBiase Jr. not doing much these days.
No, I mean, I guess maybe the IRS man came and I don't know, he doesn't have his money anymore. Well, so this is after what, 5 questions, and he's 5 for 5. So Greg is just killing this late on me. So moving right along, this one is probably pretty easy for you now after hearing all the other ones, but we're going to go for it. At WrestleMania 23, now President Donald Trump, along with Stone Cold Steve Austin, shaved the head of Vince McMahon with the help from this superstar who just returned to the Raw brand and is currently feuding with Sami Zayn.
That would be Bobby Lashley.
That is Bobby Lashley.
What a segment that was.
It's so funny. You never think that anyone on WWE, just anyone really, that would go on to be as big as Donald Trump or be president or something like that. So it's funny now looking back at the footage and when little kids are like, "Hey, that's our president shaving Vince McMahon's head." There's
a picture of Kim Kardashian with Donald Trump, and it's the special guest host of WrestleMania 23 with the main event of WrestleMania 24 or whatever that was.
Are you a fan of Bobby Lashley?
He's okay. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of his initial run in WWE, but he improved quite a bit when he was in Impact or TNA, whatever you want to call him.
It's both, apparently.
Right now, it's not his storyline with Sami Zayn is a little unbearable.
It's a little rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't feeling the sisters or whatever was going on with that.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah,
I feel bad for Sami Zayn because he's a great wrestler, great worker, but I feel like creatively they never really know what to do with him other than put him with Kevin Owens. And I've heard on a bunch of podcasts and just interviews, he's in general he's kind of like a neurotic guy in like a funny way. And I know they're playing that up. I'm sure it's annoying the viewers, but it's funny to me. But they have trouble pinning him down. I think to the perfect creative.
It seems like that's been an issue with a lot of the stars that were in NXT. They did very well in NXT, but then once they get to the main roster, I mean, great because apparently they get paid more. But it's just, I don't know. It seems like they don't know how to keep that momentum going.
Yep. Poor Tyler Breeze is all I'll say.
I know. I feel bad for him.
All right. Were you a fan of late era terrible WCW?
I watched it. I don't know if I would consider myself a fan, but I definitely watched it.
All right. So the next, well, you have an idea at the next one then. Generally seen as one of the worst match ideas of all time, Vince Russo booked a match in WCW's dying days between Billy Kidman and Shane Douglas with this particular object on a pole.
Was that the match with Judy Bagwell on a pole? Or
it was not the Judy Bagwell. That was Buff versus Canyon. Where he put his mom on a pole. This one was actually a Viagra on a pole match.
That's right.
They were feuding over Tori Wilson, and they put Viagra. And basically, Vince Russo's idea was put it on a pole. I don't know. That's the match ideas.
I guess that would be matches that wouldn't happen in this era, Alex, for 200. That's so funny. Oh man, WCW I feel like got away with a lot more.
Yeah.
All right, so this next question, just kind of bouncing off of Matt talking about his love for Carmella. Carmella, obviously, is the princess of Staten Island and has a theme song that starts with the spelling of what word?
It would be fabulous. Fabulous.
That is correct. It is fabulous. And she still has the money in the bank, right? Yeah, you did.
I almost spelled it like Fabulous, the
rapper.
No, that's okay. Well, yeah, it's funny too because I believe she sings and raps on that song, like many of the WWE superstars. I think Sasha Banks sings hers. John Cena. It's so funny. His theme song I just heard in a Toyota commercial, and it wasn't ironic. It was just in the background.
He released that as a single. Like it was on his album. Like when
crazy.
It came out.
It's so funny. I mean, I just love all the memes though with John Cena.
All right, heading back to WCW. The Demon was a character that the head honchos at WCW paid a lot of money to get on TV. To which band did they have to hand over the huge licensing fees to?
I guess that would be the band that was playing when they introduced him. That would be Kiss.
Yes, he's the Kiss Demon. They put him in Kiss face paint and basically did nothing with him. And there was a lot of stuff in that contract where he was like, he had to be in the main event. It was like part of the contract. So they started calling matches in the middle the second main event to like take the contract or whatever. It was crazy.
Well, yeah. So far, you're killing it, man. You're only with one question down. So I believe Tom Cruise is going to be sitting pretty and not doing anything tonight. So we'll see. Okay, our next question. Fans were shocked when Brock Lesnar broke The Undertaker's streak. He went from 21-0 to 21-1. Can you tell me the first person he defeated to start the streak and the last person he defeated before succumbing to Brock Lesnar's wrath?
So I believe the first one was at WrestleMania 7 against Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And then, so if he was 21-1, that means the last one before he lost would have been CM Punk at WrestleMania 29.
Well, in 1991, it was Jimmy Snuka, and in 2013, CM Punk. Great job.
Thank you. I was actually very fortunate. I was actually at WrestleMania 29 when he beat CM Punk. So I was very fortunate to attend.
Oh man, that would have been really great to see live. I know that was the WrestleMania, and I think was part of the complaint that CM Punk had on the podcast with Colt Cabana. But that was the one where it should have been the main event with him and Undertaker, but they put someone else ahead of them, right?
Wasn't that Rock Cena twice in a lifetime, or I think that might have been that one. I can't remember.
It was.
Yeah,
it was. And also they had Brock Lesnar versus Triple H
after
in a singles match. Yeah, after CM Punk versus.
And how was that match against Rock and Cena? Live.
It was, it was serviceable, I suppose.
Yeah.
At that point, I think the crowd was kind of just tired in general, and it didn't help that it was actually an outdoor stadium in New Jersey in April, so it wasn't the best weather.
It's getting a little chilly at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
Jeez, all that body oil was just drying up very quickly.
Yeah, you don't want to soak your hair too much when you're going out into 30-degree weather. All right, next question. This 80s wrestler holds the record for longest intercontinental reign at 454 days.
That is the Honky Tonk Man.
That is the Honky Tonk Man.
That's one I knew, actually. I was happy about that one. Well, right now, The Miz has had it. I mean, he had it for a while for what, like over 200 days? Or was it like 182, something like that?
I know he's had it for a while, and I think if you combine the title reigns, he may be third or second overall.
Yeah. Jericho's up there. Jericho has the most intercontinental reigns total, but it's not for the longest amount of days.
Yeah, I how do you feel about Jericho? I'm a big Jericho fan.
I like him. I definitely like him. I like how he has basically evolved his character so many times over his career, and each time it's very entertaining.
His stuff he's doing in New Japan right now is crazy. Like it's really weird. If you watch any of his like shoot videos or whatever, he loves swearing, so that's his new thing. So.
Yeah,
Swear-a-Joe is what they're calling him.
Well, he's great because reading his books and everything, he has like the most unique position with Vince McMahon because of their, I guess, working friendship. Is that like Greg saying, every time he leaves, he comes back with like a new gimmick, a new like I remember he was jokingly or maybe not jokingly blaming the Miz for stealing like his corporate heel, or his like Hollywood heel, and yeah, he always comes back and reinvents himself, and I mean he's getting older, but he still wrestles great. So, all right. So, speaking of NXT and how people come up from NXT and perform, good or bad, formerly known as the Iconic Duo in NXT, and now the Iconics on the SmackDown brand, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay are originally from what country of origin?
Is that Australia?
They are Australian. That's it. Yep. And they just came up, I don't know, about a month ago. So they've been doing pretty well. People have been pretty pleased with them, and I'm curious to see how far they can go.
Yeah, I thought they were from New Zealand, to be honest. So,
well, it's close. For all our Australian listeners, no disrespect between you and New Zealand,
right?
But they are Australian, and now I'm really curious what Australian football clubs they follow, and I'm gonna have to look that up now, and that will let me know if I like them or not. So we'll see.
Fair enough.
Is this the penultimate question?
Yes.
Oh, he's only missed one. Okay.
All right. So Chris Jericho became the first undisputed champion at Vengeance in 2001. Which two legendary wrestlers did he beat that night to become the undisputed champion?
I believe he first beat The Rock, and then about 20 minutes later, he went on to beat Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And that is correct. He beat them both in one night.
Man, what a night to beat those two guys.
Definitely.
As who I think it was, I don't know if it was Jim Ross or I don't know if it was Dave Meltzer either, but they were saying on the Mount Rushmore of WWE of who was the most popular. It was Hulk, The Rock, Stone Cold, and maybe it was Ric Flair.
Ric Flair wouldn't be on a WWF.
Shawn Michaels, maybe?
Yeah, I'd put Cena there. Probably.
Cena probably. What about you, Greg? If there was a Mount Rushmore of most popular or best WWE superstars, who would be on it?
Well, I think I agree with the Hogan, Rock, Austin, and Cena for most popular. I wouldn't put all four of them as best. I would certainly have Bret Hart at the top on the Mount Rushmore. I put Shawn Michaels on there as well, and maybe just for longevity, The Undertaker. And he's not. It's a different kind of style, but the fact that he's been able to.
No, I think you're right. I think Undertaker, his longevity is nuts. I mean, he's still going. I know he had the hip surgery and everything. Well, this last one, I'm going to make it a two-parter, separate subjects, but actually, no, I'm going to make it one. If you get this, then you've cleared Tom Cruise's gaze. Then we'll do a kind of a bonus for fun. All right, so on the date of this recording, there have been 34 WrestleManias. How many of them have taken place outside of the United States?
I would say, so WrestleMania 6 is in Toronto, 18 was in Toronto. I believe that's it. So just two.
Both in Toronto, you're correct. It was two. And then this bonus one is just for fun. It's not going to be going on your final score here. But Asuka, like many people know, when she came to NXT and all the way up to WWE, she kind of decimated Goldberg's undefeated streak. And there's two numbers here. There is the day undefeated streak, and then there's the match undefeated number. So I just want to see how close you can get, or if you can even get it. So let's start with, how many days do you think she was undefeated before her streak ended?
Let's see. So I think she started around October of 2015, and then she lost in April of 2018. So I'd say about maybe 820 days.
You're not far off. You're only off by about 100. It was 914.
Wow, 900.
Oh, wow.
914.
Oh, wow.
And then as far as her matches are concerned, she did lose at WrestleMania in April, like you said. How many matches did she win? She was blank and 0 before she lost.
Oh, this one I don't know. I guess. I'll say 170.
And it's so funny. You're just about 100 off on this one too. It was 267 and 0.
Do you have what Goldberg's match streak was?
You know what? Yeah, let me look that up. And are you a fan of Asuka?
I am definitely. I'm a little disappointed that she lost at WrestleMania, especially seeing that Charlotte would just go on to lose the championship to Carmella just a couple of days later.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing that they had her lose, but didn't seem to really have a plan for what that meant or what they were doing after it. It's like, all right, she has this big streak. You'd think if she lost, it'd be turned into a huge story, but it's kind of hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, and that's one of my complaints with Vince McMahon as far as like foreign wrestlers are concerned, and usually Japanese performers, because I feel like sometimes they build them up and they give them this great run, and then they kind of just like pull it away with no storyline. Like, so Asuka, like Greg was saying, like he probably should have beat Charlotte, and then or she should have, and then kept that going. And then Shinsuke had a huge run up until that match, and then he lost, and he's still having some great matches too, but I just remember right before WrestleMania, they had her doing more promos, which isn't her specialty, just like it wasn't Goldberg's. So kind of messed her up there. But yeah, it says here at Starrcade, Goldberg's undefeated streak ended at an official count of 173-0. And after 174 days as champion is when he lost the title.
That was such a made-up streak. Like, like it'd be Nitro, and it'd be like, he's at 54-0, and then next week he's like, he's 72-0. It's like he wrestled 20 matches in that 1 week or whatever. He's just like having matches like in the parking lot, just counting it or something.
Let's check in with Tom Cruise and see if Greg survived. Yep, Tom Cruise is giving us the thumbs up and said he's clocking out for the day. Greg passed with flying colors, so great job, Greg.
Thank you very much. I was nervous, but thank you very much.
Yeah, well, no need to be nervous. You killed that one, so.
Yeah, you're going to be on our speed dial for any wrestling-related events.
Yeah, or phone a friend if anyone ever asks us a wrestling question.
Yeah, that's true.
Anytime.
Well, we're going to have you on a regular episode at some point, but first of all, just thank you again for being a Patreon subscriber. You guys can go over to trivialitypodcast.com to find out any way to reach us on the podcast, but if you'd like to become a Patreon subscriber, just go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. We have a lot of different perks there. And Greg is a United States champion, so you guys, that's the $10 level. You can join Greg over there. But Greg, any last words, I guess? Any hopes for WWE or wrestling in general? And then a third final question here: best and worst match you've ever watched.
Okay, so just first of all, thank you very much for having me on. As much, had a great time. I don't get to talk about wrestling too much, so it's good to have somebody just really just going on about things.
Right. We don't either, so.
Yeah, we don't either. So anytime, man, if you want, let us know, and we can, we'll do a little wrestling discussion. And if anyone else wants to listen to it, we'll just put it up on Patreon. And if you like wrestling, you can listen to it. If you don't, you can just ignore it. But we can do that.
That sounds great. I guess so. Favorite match and least favorite match, I would say the best one I've seen was the match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah.
I think that was just the drama in that was fantastic. And I think that was the first real match that I genuinely thought that The Undertaker was going to have his streak broken. And of course he didn't, but it was a great match. Least favorites. Unfortunately, there have been quite a few. Match, I think it was in 2002 on Raw between, I think it was Trish Stratus and Bradshaw against Jackie Gata and Chris Nowinski.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad one.
Yeah, and because Jackie was pretty new to wrestling at the time.
She did not know how to wrestle.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
I think that's the match where Chris Nowinski actually got one of his last concussions before he kind of had to give it up.
It might have been, yeah.
Oh, that's disappointing, especially at a really bad match, and that happens.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh man. Well, yeah, no, that's those are great matches. The Shawn Michaels one, I feel like, that's one of the best of all time, for sure. Him and Undertaker. If you guys have the WWE Network, or it's probably on YouTube, just look that one up. WrestleMania 25. I
thought for sure as a Bret Hart fan, you would go Hart Austin from WrestleMania 13. Is that?
It is 13.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that match. The problem is it's kind of bittersweet because that's when he kind of turned heel.
Right.
And as I was 13 years old at the time, I stuck with him, but it still kind of broke my heart a little bit.
That was it's still real to me, damn it.
Exactly.
Well, again, thank you so much. We'll have to have you on another one. If there's any wrestling fans out there who would like to go head to head with Greg, maybe we can put that together. Or if you think that you can answer better than Greg, then maybe Greg can come back and write 15 questions for you, some really hard ones, and we'll see if you're up to the test of Greg's knowledge. We'll have to do something like that. So please reach out to us at trivialitypodcast@gmail.com. I guess that's it. How you feeling, Matt? You ready to lace up the boots and get in our own ring?
Yep, I'm grabbing my baby oil, getting ready to go.
All right, I'm going to spray my hair really, really wet and let it hang down like Dean Ambrose. And I guess for Matt and Greg and myself, that was Triviality.